up? It's Cinema Shogun here, and forgive any background noise. I'm actually on the road while recording this video. Yes, it's true. I am currently barreling 80 miles per hour down the highway while talking to you all about Britney Spears spinning around in circles. But in all seriousness, even though that was not a joke, I'm here to obviously talk to you all about Britney. And when it comes to Britney Spears, sometimes, especially lately, it's hard for me to decide when I'm going to report on something and when I'm just going to let something blow by, because not to sound arrogant or anything, but I feel like over here on this channel, we've been ahead of everyone else when it comes to this Britney nonsense. Like the stuff that I told you all about and reported to you all 2 years ago, the tabloids are just now picking up on that stuff. So, every couple of days there's new articles coming out, and I read the articles. Hundreds of you all send me the articles, on Instagram or X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. So I read everything and I see everything that's going on. It's just sometimes what is reported as new news is not really new news, at least to people who've been over here watching this channel. But then again, I have new people subscribing every day. Every time I upload a video, I have a portion of people who've been here since the beginning, and I have newcomers. So for the newcomers, a lot of this stuff is new. And for you people who've been here from the beginning, I want you all to understand that over the last couple of months, there has been a lot of people who have just now been finding out about how bad things have been with Britney, especially once, the court case with her father was settled and everything like that. But speaking of that court case, as I've talked about in the past, most of the dark details you've heard about Britney's conservatorship are fake, they're false, or they're over-exaggerated. And that's why Britney had to settle the case with her father, and she winded up not only paying her attorneys and her legal fees, but she had to pay her father's legal fees. The reality is that case was settled because there was nothing there. And if they went forward, Britney would have to take the stand, most likely, and talk. And she's incapable of doing that. Also, if the case went forward, all types of information would have come out. And yeah, we would have found out more about Britney's dad, but who gives a damn about that? A lot of information, embarrassing information about Britney would have been brought out. And they didn't want that to happen. So they decided not only was there not a case there, but they were better off just paying a couple of $1 million to pay off her father's attorney fees and just, call it quits with that whole entire shindig. But one of the dark claims about what Britney went through during her conservatorship was that there were recording, listening devices, and they were, listening in on Britney and spying on her, and they, had her house bugged or her room bugged or something like that. Well, turns out that was completely false. And I know for some of you all, it will be hard for you to accept that because you've had other people in your ear for the last 5 years telling you a bunch of jibber jabber that's just simply not true. And the courts figured that out as well. And so did Britney's lawyer, which is why they settled. But that's not true. But however, something that is true, something that's being reported now, is that during her conservatorship, while she was on the conservatorship, she was still getting substances allegedly from somewhere. And they were trying to figure out how in the hell is she getting high? Where is she getting this stuff from? So I believe that during the conservatorship, they did try to pinpoint who she was in contact with getting these substances. But TMZ released this new article, and as I was saying earlier, most of this stuff is stuff that we've discussed, but this is stuff that they're just now reporting in the mainstream. And there's tidbits of new information in here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and hop into this article really quickly. Britney Spears' conservatorship, vital to survival. New reporting on drugs surveillance. Britney Spears is in increasing danger of hurting herself or others, or even worse, so say numerous people in and around her life, and they are scared for her and believe the only path for long-term survival is another conservatorship. Multiple sources with direct knowledge say that Britney's mental health has been in a tailspin since the conservatorship ended. Listen, folks, we don't need sources with direct knowledge of anything to tell us that. We've seen that play out ourselves. But let's go forward. They say that she is often not taking the meds that stabilize her, and she is drinking and using various drugs, which is especially dangerous because she has substance abuse problems that sent her to rehab multiple times. We're told Britney has radical mood swings and often goes into rages that end in physical violence. There are times we're told it's impossible to communicate with her because she can't engage in rational conversation. Now, there's a lot more in the article, but I want to pause right there. These claims, some people will say, well, we're not going to believe the tabloids and what they have to say. It's not that I believe the tabloids, it's that we witnessed this ourselves. I don't have to read these articles to know that she's incapable of rational conversation. She's incapable of literally typing out a rational Instagram post or a social media post. So what makes you think that she's a rational person to engage in conversation? As far as the physical stuff goes and the violence, her ex-husband, Sam, told y'all that she was beating him up and putting her hands on him all the time. We have photos and videos of Sam with bruises, black eyes, scratches. And here's my thing. Right now, the biggest news story in the world is Diddy and how Diddy was putting his hands on Cassie and all of that stuff. We can all agree that that is disgusting. But if we're going to have a conversation about Diddy, isn't it hypocritical that everyone overlooks the fact that there is so much evidence out here that Britney Spears is someone who likes to put her hands on her significant others? And what was it? Just a few weeks ago, the cops had to show up to that hotel multiple times because Britney and her new toilet cleaning boyfriend were fighting. Now they tried to tell you it's because she twisted her ankle. Yeah, she hurt her ankle in the middle of fighting her boyfriend. But yeah, let's just go ahead and dive back into the article. What's even more problematic, we're told her current boyfriend, Paul Solis, a felon, is running her household and her life now. Sources say it was a huge mistake to end the conservatorship. Though they add her dad, Jamie Spears, was no longer the right person to run the show, most likely because she came to intensely dislike him. It should be noted, after more than 2 years of post-conservatorship allegations against Jamie for various alleged financial misdeeds, Britney and her dad settled. Britney did not get a single cent from Jamie and ended up paying her lawyer millions in attorney fees and also paid her dad's $2 million worth of attorney's fees. In short, her legal fight was a total bust, and people around her fear the legal bills and her wild spending are putting her on a path to going broke. Sources believe the point of no return for the conservatorship came when a story was reported that Britney's bedroom was secretly bugged, which people in the Free Britney movement felt was a gross invasion of privacy. After that, the cry to end the conservatorship was like a tidal wave. So much so the judge who ended it, shockingly, didn't even order a mental or medical evaluation. We now know what was behind the bedroom surveillance. Nothing, because it did not happen. 5 sources with direct knowledge there say there was never bedroom surveillance. It was all a lie. these sources say it became apparent Britney was getting drugs from someone. And it was so alarming, people handling the conservatorship went to the judge himself, who signed an order authorizing the monitoring of Britney's communication devices to determine who was supplying her drugs. To be clear, the judge believed a drug dealer, the judge himself believed a drug dealer was fueling Britney's addiction and authorized their surveillance. Sources have asked us to post this story because they believe without people understanding the reason for the surveillance, there would be no way a judge would have the balls to withstand public pressure to create a new conservatorship. Every source we've spoken to says if things continue the way they've been going, Britney is in grave danger. We have reached out to Britney's attorney, but he has not reached back. So there you have it, folks. One by one, like dominoes, they're falling. The lies about the conservatorship are slowly but surely getting exposed. And that lie about them having secret recording devices in Britney's bedroom, that was one of the main lies that everyone freaked out about. Oh my God, it's an invasion of Britney's privacy. Now I agree. I mean, that's messed up, right? The only problem is it never happened. In fact, the judge knows it never happened because the judge is the one that authorized them to check into Britney's phone to find out who in the hell she was getting stuff from. So if you thought that was going to be used against Jamie or anyone else, then you were wrong, and you have been misled by these other people who are out here telling you complete nonsense about Britney. We know the only place that you're going to get real information, at least on YouTube, is right here. Maybe on KL Cool as well. But nowhere else is anyone really talking about Britney, having these conversations, except for a few places. Like discussing Britney on Instagram is another good place to check. But, I mean, as I said, the lies are continuing to get exposed. And at some point, people need to sit down and just start accepting this. I know that y'all sat here for years dedicated to the Free Britney movement, and it sucks that you dedicated yourself to a meaningless cause that freed a woman from a conservatorship who obviously needed help. But now, you know, I got people all the time that reach out to me and they say, you know what, I was wrong. I can admit I was wrong. I think that's where this needs to head now. People need to admit they were wrong. We've had a couple of years now to watch Britney slowly kill herself and slowly lose her mind. I think we all need to heal, come together, and save Britney Spears' life, because at this point, what's going to happen to her? It's obviously not going to end well. And at the end of the day, let me just say one more thing. You know, the Free Britney movement seemed like they were so concerned about Britney's privacy. And obviously, everyone's entitled to their own privacy, right? But how can you have a fight about privacy, and then when you're out of the conservatorship, the main thing you do is basically, I don't know, spin around butt naked and stuff? It's like, did you really care about privacy at all? If anything, as crazy as it sounds, Britney had way more privacy under the conservatorship. Because ever since she got out, and her privacy seemed like it was so important, ever since she got out, all she does is blast her mental illnesses and her naked body all over the internet. So I don't understand why people can't form those connections. But then again, you know, the type of people that we're dealing with here. But yeah, just one by one, the lies are getting exposed. At this point, everyone should know the Free Britney movement was all for nothing. All of the lies that were told then, you know, we expose them all the time. And I don't know what else is there really to be said at this point. You know, sometimes it's better to just sit back and allow things to expose themselves. And that's one thing Britney is going to do. She's going to expose herself in more ways than one. But for now, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.